Tackling the high banks of Salem Speedway can mean flirting with disaster. The journey to victory lane is fraught with peril here. There's no such thing as easy does it. If you want to win here, you've got to get ready to bang your way to the front. Most have been here before. They know what it takes. But only one will have the right combination to win today. And welcome to Salem Speedway in Salem, Indiana. The ARCA Remax Series here on Speed Vision. Today, the Eddie Gilstrap Motors 200. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Bill Venturini is alongside Don Radabaugh on pit road for us today. Second visit of the year for the ARCA Remax Series here to Salem Speedway. Let's find out about some stories on track. Here's Don Radabaugh.
Thanks, Rick. Interestingly enough, there are only two former champions in the grid here today at Salem, and wouldn't you know it, they make up the front row. I'm talking about two-time ARCA Remax champion Frank Kimmel, and yes, of course, the 1988 ARCA Remax Series champion, Mount Clemens, Michigan driver, Tracy Leslie. And Tracy, we all remember that classic duel just last year. You out-dueled Frank Kimmel on the final round, but Frank was quickest in practice and, of course, qualifying. Can you out-duel him today?
Well, you know, it's green racetrack. Both Frank and our car, you know, running real good today. You know, obviously, Frank needs no representation. He's accomplished a lot. But I think we can give him a run for his money today, and we'll just see how it shakes out.
Well, Frank Kimmel isn't the only accomplished driver in the field today. Let's recall that Tracy Leslie is a former NASCAR Busch Series winner, won one at IRP back in the late 80s. Tracy Leslie can indeed get the job done.
Frank Kimmel has gotten the job done in spades this year. He leads the points by 1,000. 8 wins this year. Fast qualifier, but he won't start up front. We'll tell you more in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
One of the ARCA team sponsors, Jerry the King Lawler, giving the command here today. Kimmel missed the driver's meeting. He'll have to drop to the back of the pack when we get ready to go with the Eddie Gilstrap Motors 200. Our coverage of the ARCA Remax Series is being brought to you by Remax. In the race to sell homes, our track record is second to none. Remax, outstanding agents, outstanding results. And by Cornwell Quality Tools. Professional mechanics worldwide choose Cornwell, the official tools of ARCA. Welcome back to Salem Speedway, the ARCA Remax Series here on Speed Vision. 200 laps of racing. Here's your starting lineup. Frank Kimmel on the pole, but he'll have to drop to the rear. Tracy Leslie alongside in cabin counselors 19. Second row, the 67 with Jason Jarrett, and the youngest driver ever in ARCA, Shelby Howard.
Row 3, AJ Hendrickson. Next to him, Andy Belmont in AOL Ford. Row 4, Scotty Sands out of Henryville, Indiana, and Vern Slaw also in a Ford.
And the fifth row, Jared Prince in car number 98. John Hayden in a Pontiac, that's the 85 car. Jeff Finley lines up at the sixth row in his familiar blue number 70, and the veteran Todd Boucher in Jack's number 21.
Inside row 7, Donnie Morlock. Next to him, Chuck Weber out of Texas. Row 8, Mike Buckley, and next to him, Marty Bukovich. That sounds like a linebacker's name to me.
Ninth row, Greg Sarp's Ford, the 38, and Darrell Basham in car number 34. That's a Chevrolet. Ken Schrader lines up next in his federated Pontiac, and Jimmy Hollenbeck in a Chevrolet, the 75 car.
Row 11, Tim Mitchell in a Pontiac. Next to him, Brent Sherman out of Barrington, Illinois. Row 12, Mike Berg driving a Chevrolet, and outside of him, Larry Hollenbach, also in a Chevrolet.
13th row, the Ford of Dennis English, that's the 4 car. Carla Lampe is back from Iowa in a Chevrolet, car number 74. The 14th row, Brad Smith in the 26 car, and Eric Martin's Chevrolet, that's 91.
Row 15, Ron Cox out of Tennessee, and Jeff Caudle driving a Ford. Row 16, Norm Benning out of Pennsylvania. Next to him, Kevin Belmont in an AOL Ford.
Michael Melton lines up next in car number 60. Todd Antrikin in the 3 car. They are the last row here at Salem Speedway. Our weather outlook, 76 degrees, the air temperature warming up. Track temperature now 88, and we've had rain here all day.
Yeah, well, we've got a little threat that there possibly could be rain later on today, but right now it looks good.
We'll run 111 miles here at Salem for a purse of nearly $95,000. And Bill, I remember when we were here earlier this year, you said this was maybe the most difficult racetrack that ARCA comes to every year.
Oh, yeah, you can tell looking out of Ken Schrader's window as we're going down the back straightaway here. The corners are different. That's what makes it difficult. 1 and 2, you kind of run down on the bottom, maybe in the middle of the racetrack, where in 3 and 4, you run right up to the wall. The other thing is this track is pretty bumpy.
We'll ride also today, besides Ken Schrader's car, we'll have an onboard camera with Mike Buckley's Midwest Mall Fronts machine. Buckley qualified nicely in 15th spot out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. And Frank Kimmel will carry one of our cameras in the Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet, the series point leader. Kimmel down on pit road. You see all the water on pit road. He has to give up the pole for missing the driver's meeting.
Well, you know, as long as he's got to start last, might as well come down pit road, top off with gas.
Sure.
And you've got an extra lap or two than anyone else on the field because he's got to start last anyhow.
About ready to go racing here at Salem. 34 cars lined up. Jason Jarrett will start on the pole now with Tracy Leslie alongside. A couple of fast race cars up front.
Keep in mind that also Ken Schrader had to drop to the back because he didn't qualify his car, so he did a driver change. So both him and Kimmel are going to be coming from the back.
Green is out. We're underway. 200 laps of racing coming your way here on Speed Vision. Leslie in the 19 car. Kevin Counselor's Target Saws machine up for the early lead as they go down the back straightaway.
I got to tell you, that was definitely a veteran move going into the first corner. He cut down in front of Jason Jarrett so that Jason couldn't get the line coming off of 2, and he took the position right away.
Now Kimmel having to drop to the back of the pack, the 34th spot on the grid here. He's trailing Norm Benning there down into the corner. Frank has already passed a bunch of cars right after the drop of the green.
Here's where Frank has got to have some patience.
Yeah.
And I say some. You can't wait too long because the leader's got almost a half a lap on you when they drop the green flag. And Tracy Leslie is quick around here. So, you know, if Frank gets stuck in traffic too long, Tracy may be able to put him lap down. But at the same time, Frank's got to be very careful going through lap traffic right now. Look at this. This looks like rush hour on the Dan Ryan Expressway in Chicago.
About the best explanation I've ever heard for Salem Speedway, jumping on board with Ken Schrader, who had to drop to the back, as Bill mentioned. He's picking his way through the pack, and one car's in the wall, couple of cars in the wall. We've got a tangle up in turn 1. Everybody on the brakes. The 73 car goes around. Several other cars involved in this one. Actually, the 75 car there. The 24 is involved. Norm Benning coming to a stop in the 84. And we watch from Mike Buckley's onboard camera as everyone slows down to realign for the restart. Leslie is out in front. We'll be back. Getting ready for a restart here at Salem on board with Ken Schrader. He's made his way up to 9th already after that spin involving Jeff Finley and the 75 car of Jimmy Hollenbeck. They're okay, and we're racing, and Schrader quickly to the inside. Everyone chasing Tracy Leslie in the 19 car.
You notice with the in-car shot how quiet it seemed like inside the car?
Yeah.
Got to remember, on the short tracks, the ARCA cars have to run mufflers, so it's a little quieter. You mentioned before you went to break, what is it like you heard to run Salem? You were going to give me a description of it?
Well, the best description I've heard is that it's like Darlington, like a half-size Darlington, because you run different lines, you run up by the wall a lot, and it's really bumpy.
Yeah, here's it. I love watching Kenny Schrader here at Salem. Him and Frank Kimmel, these two guys run this racetrack better than anyone I've watched. I mean, these guys will run it right up against the wall, like you said. Like you'll get the Darlington stripe here at Salem.
There's Schrader in his federated Pontiac, the 99. Kenny has had, actually, that's a Monte Carlo this weekend. Normally, Kenny runs a Pontiac on these tracks.
You know what I've noticed, and I was talking to these guys earlier today in practice, that you see right there, that's 3 and 4. You go right up to the wall. But I had said earlier that you run 1 and 2, you can run it down on the bottom. And I think that's look, there's 1 and 2, and Schrader's got to run it a little higher. What they've said is the groove has actually moved up almost over a car width higher going into 1 and 2 now. You can't run down on the bottom. This track is really, really bumpy, and if you try to run down on the bottom, it just upsets the car too much now.
Early laps of this one, Kimmel up to 11th already after having to start at the back of the pack along with Schrader. He was the quick qualifier. He's the series point leader. 8 victories so far in 2001, and look at Kimmel just gobble up the distance between he and the lead cars.
Yeah, Frank's bringing Ron Cox right along with him. Ron Cox is running real good right now.
Kimmel down the straightaway. Low into turn 1. Back at the other end of the racetrack, several cars up toward the wall there, and you can see that stripe getting picked up. The 24 there, Chuck Weber among the cars rubbing on the back on the side wall.
Yeah, number 75, he's up against the wall in 1 and 2, but you said it right. Did you see while we were talking to Darlington Stripe, Chuck Weber actually put it on his car. Well, look at this. Tracy
Jimmy Hollenbeck, the leaders get tangled up, and Jason Jarrett goes by. Hollenbeck in the 75 has had his problems. He was the car that spun to bring out our first caution. He's been in the wall a couple of times just on the last lap. So Jason Jarrett gets Tracy Leslie picked off on the 75 car and takes the lead.
That's one of the problems we have when you're running with lap traffic here. You know, it's a tight racetrack. Even though it's wide, there's only like a groove and a half. And if that slow car's in that fast groove, it's going to screw you up on your position. And Jason Jarrett jumped on the opportunity to take over the lead.
I've had a lot of drivers tell me here, Bill, over the years, this is not a place where you can hold the gas down very much at all if you have a good car.
No. I got to tell you, the last time I raced here, to give you an idea how bumpy it is, when I raced, I wore contact lenses. And through 3 and 4, it got so bad, I lost the contact lens. It vibrated out of my eye.
Leaders working by Larry Hollenbeck, the 56 car. How about Andy Belmont up there in third spot? He qualified well, and he's hanging right with the lead pack.
You say third spot, yeah, but right now these three cars are actually racing for the lead. You know, Tracy Leslie, Andy Belmont, and Jason Jarrett all running for the lead right now, but they've got to fight lap traffic at the same time. That makes it really hard to pick your spot on when you want to make the move.
With 35 cars on the racetrack here today at Salem, too, they're in traffic just about all the time. I mean, there's not much place here where you can hide from the lap car.
But look at that shot when the camera panned back, how beautiful it is. There's a golf course on the back straightaway here, and I've already golfed at this place. That's what makes this place so neat. You come here a day early, you golf in the back straightaway. There's an airport right in the middle of 1 and 2, right over those trees right there. There's a little airport, and then there's a racetrack. It's beautiful country here.
Now, Frank Kimmel has not made much progress in the last several laps, but he watches that beating and banging going on in front of him down the back straightaway, goes high, gets around those two cars, one of them the 85 of John Hayden from Kentucky.
Yeah, there was Larry Hollenbeck and John Hayden. Those two guys were like busy banging against doors against each other, and Frank says, okay, go ahead. He went around both of them.
Down the back straightaway, here comes Kimmel trying to pick his way through the field. Coming up on the back deck lid of Schrader's car here momentarily.
Yeah, and they're both right now chasing down Todd Bowser.
Schrader in the 99, Kimmel in the 46, and Kimmel will dive inside of Schrader's car for the trip down the back straightaway here. Todd Bowser in the 21 up ahead. Schrader able to stay right with Kimmel for now.
I was just going to say, if you can just tell by looking out the camera, out the window, where Frank was keeping the car down a groove, you can tell Schrader was still there, and then sure enough, you saw it out of the corner of the windshield. But right now, Kimmel and Schrader are actually, I think they've got equal cars right now, so it's going to make it hard for Frank to make the pass.
Kimmel down on the low side, though, and he's very good down there. He's about the only car we've seen so far able to run at the bottom and make any headway. And Kimmel goes by Schrader. Clean pass down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Frank went underneath him and right. Oh, nice slide job by Frank.
Got a glimpse of the 16 car. Vern Slaw wearing that number for Tim Steele's team here this weekend. Slaw in his familiar machine, a former Ricky Rudd car.
You can see both Kimmel and Schrader go around the outside of Greg Starf right now. Look at, you're right. Look at Kimmel using that lower line, and he's the only one that seems to be able to do that right now. He's
diving down off the banking to get a good run on the straightaway. Schrader tucks right up behind him. They're still tracking Todd Bowser, though. Bowser's been able to stay in front of him. This is one of the best runs we've seen from Todd Bowser and Jack Bowser's 21 car.
Well, you know, the Bowser family has this racetrack down pat pretty good, you know. Back when his brother Bobby had won the championship, I remember Bobby was always, he's won here before. So you know the Bowsers know how to get a car to go around Salem. So, you know, it's not a surprise that the team car, and you got to see Jack Bowser still working on the team, is good. Oh, look at this. Lap
Finley in the 70, Jeff Finley and one of the Hollenbecks there, the 56, on board with Mike Buckley with a good run going in 14th. He's been lapped, though, by the leader, Jason Jarrett, in the 67. With Jarrett all alone, now in the clear down the front straightaway here at Salem. And a caution flag on the speedway. Debris on the racetrack, so our second caution of the afternoon. Jarrett leads Leslie, Andy Belmont, and Shelby Howard. We'll be back. Welcome back on Speed Vision, the ARCA Remax Series here at Salem Speedway, ready for a restart. Green flag is in the air. Early in the going of the Eddie Gilstrap 200. Jason Jarrett in the purple 67 car is your leader. Andy Belmont up to second, but here comes Kimmel.
Did you see the jump Mike Buckley got?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he actually jumped before the start of the green or not.
I think you could safely say he jumped before the start of the green, trying to get his lap back. There's Kimmel swinging to the inside of young Shelby Howard in the 64 car, the Lucas Oil Chevrolet. Howard, the youngest driver ever to compete in an ARCA Remax Series event, just turned 16 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's 16 years old. I'm thinking back when I was 16. I don't think I was worrying about a race car.
No, you probably weren't. Now, here's Mike Buckley onto pit road. Did he get hit with a stop-and-go penalty for jumping the start?
I guarantee he's coming down pit road because he got a penalty for jumping that restart.
Ken Schrader in the Federated Chevrolet, the 99, up to 5th now. Behind Shelby Howard, just getting by A.J. Hendrickson there, the 17 car.
A good run for A.J. Henderson in a Fastenal Chevrolet. But he loves this racetrack. ECC, Engineered Components, they used to be one of the sponsors of this race. So his car owner, you know, this is one of their favorite tracks, so they always come to Salem, and he runs good here. They also come and test. Good team, I like them. Young team, young driver. They're out of Mooresville, North Carolina. I really enjoy working with these guys because we pit a lot together, and they're a fun group.
Andy Belmont now, second spot in the one car, able to hold Kimmel off. What a good run for Belmont here in the early going.
You know, I don't know if you've noticed, but have you noticed Andy Belmont is like coming on in the last part of the season here with an unbelievable surge running for the championship. This guy's really been running up front the last probably 4 or 5 races. You know, it seems like sometimes Andy, you're just not sure what Andy's, you know, well, like we say, which Andy Belmont's coming to the racetrack today, but lately this guy's really been exciting, and he's been running up front.
His cars have gotten better and better. Kimmel, though, with by far the best equipment in the ARCA Remax Series, blows by to take over second spot. So it hasn't taken Frank Kimmel very long to get from 34th on the grid up to second spot. Great run for that 46 car.
Well, you hit the key word, you know, equipment. That comes from also having good sponsorship. Andy Belmont's got the AOL money funding his team, and it's showing now. Now we're looking at Jeff Finley running 11th, and that's Tracy Leslie running 12th. He was running up second before we went to break. He pitted on that last yellow, so he's got to come back through the field right now.
So Leslie in a car that has been to victory lane. Ed Barrier won in that car just a couple of weeks ago. And Finley, who is so strong on these high bank short tracks, doesn't run all the races these days, but he is very quick here.
He was involved in that first caution we had. There was no extensive damage or nothing, but it took him out of position. He lost all that track position, and I think he's just feeling the car. Right now, he's stuck in lap traffic like everyone else is.
That blue Thunderbird, Jared Prince, the 98 car from 10th spot. I think this may be Prince's first start of the season. I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, looking at the right front corner of Jeff Finley's, you can see part of the fenders missing off of that car.
Yeah. Prince out of Vermilion, Ohio, doing a very nice job. We talked about Shelby Howard a moment ago. You know, the ARCA Remax Series attracts a lot of young drivers and young teams. Shelby Howard at 16. Now, these are drivers who have local late model experience. In Shelby Howard's case, he's run here at Salem many times in the Kendall Late Model Series, which is the Indiana statewide late model series, races at IRP and several other tracks. And you learn a lot about racing at a young age when you compete in those kinds of race cars. ARCA, though, is a whole different ball of wax. The cars are much heavier. It's a Winston Cup car, essentially, and it's a lot different from the local late model.
Yeah, and the local late models run 25, maybe 30 lap features. Here, you know, you got to run a 200 lap feature. Just the mental strain and the adjustability and how you have to go about, you know, as a driver is totally different. You know, people have asked me, how do you differentiate between having a rookie, you know, 16-year-old kid come in and run ARCA with you when you're a 20-year veteran like Frank Kimmel? That's something that drivers in ARCA have to understand, and we do, is that a young driver's got to have somewhere to start his first big car race.
Sure.
Fortunately or unfortunately, it depends how you look at it, ARCA is that serious. You know, you can't go run Winston Cup, you can't go run Busch unless you have good experience in these cars, and ARCA is the only place that you're allowed to do that.
Well, Shelby Howard is getting plenty of experience following a veteran like Andy Belmont. He's able to watch Frank Kimmel just ahead. Kimmel's still up in second spot, chasing Jason Jarrett. We saw him a moment ago. He's still the leader. Look at Howard just in the tire tracks at Belmont's one car.
Well, you know, he's learning right now, and I think he'd be smart right now. Andy Belmont's running quick. He's one of the top running cars right now. Shelby just needs to stay there, follow him, get used to the car, get used to how you have to maneuver traffic. I'm sure he's never maneuvered this type of traffic before, so he's learning. Every lap he can stay out there and stay behind Andy Belmont.
Belmont and the America Online Ford running in third spot. There are your two lead cars, and look at this. Kimmel right up on the back decklet of Jason Jarrett. I'll tell you, Jason Jarrett must have nightmares about that red 6046 car of Kimmel, and Kimmel just wings by on the high side to take the lead for the first time here today.
I think every driver in ARCA has nightmares on this car. You know, that's the worst thing you want to see is being a driver. Is, you know, you feel you're out there, you're wheeling this car, you're running up front, you're leading the race, and all of a sudden you look in the mirror and there's that bright orange bumper behind you. And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
So Kimmel has come from the back to the front in the 46 car. He is leading the show in the Eddie Gilstrap Motors 200 here at Salem. And Jarrett just fallen 5 car lengths back right away.
I wouldn't say Jarrett's falling back car lengths. I'd just say Kimmel's pulling away 5 car lengths.
Yeah. Going by Norm Benning's 84 car to put him another lap down. And you see the speed difference between those two leaders and much of the rest of the field here at Salem. Mike Buckley takes us for a ride. The Midwest Mall Fronts machine He's not in the top 10. Everyone's chasing Frank Kimmel at Salem. Back in the ARCA Remax Series at Salem Speedway here on Speed Vision. I'm Rick Benjamin. Bill Venturini is alongside Don Radema on pit road, watching the battle for second take shape. There's your leader, Frank Kimmel. Jason Jarrett is in second. Ken Schrader has moved around to Andy Belmont to take over third spot in the 99 car.
You can see Schrader and Belmont, though, both of those guys are closing in on Jason Jarrett right now.
Swinging by one of the other AOL cars. That might be Kevin Belmont there in the 48 machine down low on the racetrack. I think that was Andy's brother. Driving the second car from the team stable, moving by the number 6, Tim Mitchell from Fayetteville, Tennessee, in that white car with the orange roof. Belmont able to tuck right in behind there.
Yeah, Belmont's really running good. I don't know if I was Andy, how I'd be able to handle this deal with his brother, Kevin. Kevin originally came on board with this team program as being Andy's crew chief. Now, it's his brother, but he's been his crew chief. Well, he's somehow or another become the second team driver now. So I don't know. You know, when Andy comes in and make pit stops there, we've seen some races where Kevin's actually, gotten out of the car and changed tires. But the way Kevin's been running all year, I think Andy better start looking for another crew chief.
He's certainly having fun. Jeff Finley in fifth spot, but look at that. He gets pinched up to the wall by the 19 car. Tracy Leslie getting by.
Okay, now Tracy Leslie definitely rubbed fenders and pushed Finley up into the wall on that one.
Leslie knows what it takes to get the job done in ARCA, former series champion. 1988 doesn't seem possible. It was 13 years ago that Tracy Leslie was the ARCA Remax Series champion.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
That was when Bill Venturini was a young man.
Yeah, I won my first in 87 and my second one in 91. So Tracy was in between those years. You know, you got to remember.
We're all getting younger. I don't know what's wrong with you.
The crew chief on this 19 car, Lee Leslie, that's Tracy's brother.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a little family tie here on this 19 car. The driver and the crew chief are brothers.
And Tracy Leslie diving down low, one of the few drivers to venture to the bottom here at Salem. He will move by Andy Belmont and come to fourth spot. Ken Schrader watching that in the rearview mirror of the 99 car. Schrader's got to know that Leslie is on the chart.
I was just going to say, Tracy Leslie's car is working just excellent right now. His and Frank Kimmel's are the only two cars that we've been able to see, when you said it, to be able to move halfway down that groove in the center of the corner and make the pass.
Lapping by Norm Benning. Andy Belmont is next in line in the blue and yellow 1 car. And we should point out, we thought that was Kevin Belmont we were looking at before. There's the 48 car. That's Donnie Morlock in a car that carries a very similar paint scheme to those two AOL machines. And here comes Leslie now, starting to pressure Schrader to the inside. Leslie for third spot. He'll get by. Wow, Leslie is hooked up.
Yeah, nice move. You notice that we've seen sunlight, we've seen cloudiness. You know, like we said, the clouds are coming in and out. Don't know if it's going to rain yet or not, but you can see where we're going in between shadows and sunlight. And that actually affects how the car handles in the corners.
Of course, on a cooler day, it'll tighten things up. On a hot day, it'll make the cars a little looser.
You know what I've noticed? Every time somebody passes Andy Belmont, for about the next 4 or 5 laps, he tucks right under bumper and he's able to run with them. I don't know if when they get behind him, what must be happening is when the car gets up behind him, it must loosen his car up, and he's got to actually back out of it just a little, and it gives the guy behind him the opportunity to be able to get by him. The minute the guy passes him, then Andy's car, tightens back up, and he's able to run with him.
The 70 of Jeff Finley back there in 6th spot despite the body damage to the right front corner. And you can see Belmont wiggle that time coming out of turn 2. He seems to be loose. I've noticed that car wiggle quite a bit, quite often here in the early going at Salem.
Yeah, but when you're running 4th right now and you're wheeling like that, you're not going to come in and make a pit stop. And, everyone's still got to make a pit stop here. I mean, some guys have already, but you can't run all 200 laps here without making a pit stop. So Andy, if he's going to make a chassis change, I'm sure he's just going to hang on. He's doing the best he can. His car's running decent, so I mean, I'm not going to pit either. But when the first chance he gets, he'll come in, he'll make a little adjustment, top it off with fuel.
Battling for 5th spot, Belmont in the 1, Finley in the 70. Using the high side to work around the slower traffic. The 74 there, Carlo Lampe from Carroll, Iowa, in that red car. Frank Kimmel's crew getting ready for new tires at some point soon. Kimmel still dominating here at Salem. While we were away, another caution here at Salem Speedway for debris on the racetrack. getting ready for a restart. Now, Tracy Leslie has brought the 19 car on the pit road. We think Andy Belmont has pitted the 1 car as well.
Yeah.
So Kimmel's your restart leader.
From what I can tell, it looks like only the first 3 cars, Kimmel, Jason Jarrett, and Schrader haven't pitted. And, we're more than halfway. I would have thought, to me, this would have been a perfect opportunity. Pit, put on your fresh set of tires. You know you're fast.
Yeah.
So you're not going to make much of a change, and I'd go for it, put on the tires, and go to the end of the race.
Unless you're happy with the car the way it is now and you want to wait to take tires?
Yeah, but, the closer you get to the end, the better chance you have of the worse chance you have of getting involved in a wreck towards the end of the race. You've got to hustle the car to get through that lap traffic a lot faster if you wait longer in the race to make your pits.
Because you give up track position.
Right, because you give up track position.
Battling for third, Schrader in the 99, Finley in the 70, and there's Tracy Leslie in the 19, back up to 5th spot. I'm surprised also that Schrader didn't pit because you'd think he would be very strong. He's not having a bad day, but he's not able to run with Kimmel or with Jason Jarrett.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought this would have been a perfect opportunity, but, I guess that's why I'm up in the booth now and not on pit road.
Here comes Andy Belmont now starting to fly once again in the 1 car. He moves by Finley to get back to 5th in that number 1. Right in behind Leslie.
Now, I know when Leslie came in, they made a little chassis change again. I didn't see Andy Belmont's car, but I know on Leslie's car they put some wedge in it, tighten the car up just a little more. But whatever Andy did, I think it's working because he's down on the bottom. I gave up, but it looks he's trying to run the bottom groove like we saw a little earlier.
How much bravery does it take, though, to come down the inside on the straightaway and stay low in that corner when you know the car's going to push up the racetrack?
Well, you call it bravery. What you got to do is you got to get off the throttle.
Yeah.
You can't go in as deep, and you're just hoping you've got enough grip that you can get on the throttle as quick as you want to. Usually you can't. You got to wait for the car to set before you can pick up the throttle.
Schrader now getting pressure from Leslie. Belmont comes up on the high side to try to get the spot back.
Well,
good move by Belmont.
Good move by Belmont. He thought, okay, I tried the bottom, it didn't work. Oh, I'll drive around the outside. And now he's looking under Schrader.
That's the most aggressive we've seen Andy Belmont all season long. Look at him to the inside of Schrader for 3rd spot here.
See the car break loose. Now Andy I would have crowded Schrader. He didn't have to. Good move. Belmont has definitely made a good chassis change on his car.
So Andy Belmont to 3rd, Schrader dropping back to 4th, Leslie now 5th. Everyone's still trying to reel in the 2 lead cars, the 46 of Frank Kimmel, the 67 car of Jason Jarrett.
You got to remember, though, now Schrader's still got the same tires he started the race on. The other guys have come in, put on a set of tires, and made a chassis change. So they should technically be a little faster, but I don't know. You worry about Schrader, you worry about Jason Jarrett, and as usual, Frank Kimmel's gone.
Yeah. He says, you all settle this behind us. We're going to set sail here in the 46. Kimmel bidding for his 9th win of the season in ARCA REMAX Series competition. Has more than 1,000 points on the 2nd place driver in the standings. Schrader, meantime, trying to hang on ahead of Leslie, Finley, and now A.J. Hendrickson in the 17 coming up to get in the mix here.
And we talked about A.J. Hendrickson a little earlier. He likes this racetrack. And one thing I found as a driver, I haven't driven in many years, but I've got my son that drives for us now. When you find a racetrack as a driver that you really like, it just seems to step up your program. You as a driver become more aggressive. The car seems to handle better. The motor runs better. Now, you can't tell me it's just the car. It's definitely got a lot to do with the driver's attitude and mental ability to handle the racetrack. There were some tracks that I went to that I ran good at that I hated. Yeah. And then there were other tracks that I loved and I never won at some of those.
It has to do, I think, with comfort level behind the wheel, how comfortable you are with the surroundings and how you feel in the race car.
Oh, when you're comfortable as a driver, you can drive the car fast.
Yeah. Jason Jarrett, meantime, has closed in on the 46 of Kimmel. So Jarrett trying to make some hay here, going for his 2nd win of the season, his 2nd career win it would be. Scored his first ever victory at Kansas at the new super speedway back earlier in the summer.
I was talking to Jason Jarrett. We're talking about the series, ARCA. I said, how do you like it? Oh, and as we talk about this, Tracy Leslie slipping back right now. Jeff Finley gets underneath him.
Oh! Now Leslie belts the wall up in turn 3. Maybe he's got a problem.
It looked like he blew a right front tire because that car just shot up to the right. But, I said it looked, all of a sudden, Jeff Finley went underneath him going in the next corner. Tracy Leslie just belts the wall.
So Leslie drops the window net, brings the car to a stop finally out of turn 4. That was a hard hit. He's going to get out quickly. He's fine.
You know why he's getting out quickly? You see the smoke? The right front corner's on fire. What happens with the Chevrolets, the fuel pump, we'll look at the replay here. You can see going into the corner. Watch right here. Bam,
Boy.
see the car turn right.
Yep, right turn into the wall.
See the fire?
Yep.
What happens is when you hit the right front corner, the fuel pump breaks off the motor, and it usually spews raw fuel on the exhaust, and that's what ignites it.
And, of course, the right front in a place like this is very hot because the brake is probably blowing by now. And there you see it again from another angle. So Leslie's bid to win here today on the Target Saws 19 car won't get any further.
What a good job by A.J. Henderson from not hitting it. He made a slick move to get underneath him. And we got pit stops now. Now the leaders are pit.
See Schrader coming out of pit road. Finley's on pit road. Right side tires and fuel for the 67. Jason Jarrett was running second. The Biomet team goes to work. They'll move around, do left side tires as well.
Got a problem in the right rear there.
Get the right front. Left front won't come off either. Now they finally get the left front off. And Jarrett is down and away. Not the quickest of stops, but he'll beat Kimmel off of pit road. So Bill Kimmel's team for Frank Kimmel, I'm surprised at that, and Schrader gets out in front of the 46 as well. We'll be back. Back at Salem Speedway, under caution, the Eddie Gilstrap Motors 200. Yellow brought out by Tracy Leslie, who hit the wall pretty hard. He's with Don Radebaugh.
Pretty hard lick up there, Tracy. You okay? And what happened?
Yeah, we're okay. Just, had a tire go down, blow out, or whatever, What you gotta say? Just had a bad day.
It was a bad day indeed in the end, but a good day up till then. Got a strong race car here today.
Well, you can see Tracy's a man of a lot of words there, huh?
I think the frustration is what had boiled over there. Well, we're well into the second half of this one. Green flag is back out, and Andy Belmont is your restart leader, ahead of the 67 car of Jarrett, then Schrader and Kimmel. Now, Belmont did not pit under that last caution. Laps are winding down here at Salem. Let's see if he can hang on ahead of Jarrett.
I got to remember, before we went to break, Belmont was quick, and it's showing right now that these guys haven't been able to put a move on him. But now Kimmel and Jarrett and Schrader have fresher tires now. So, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on too long, but he's doing an excellent job right now.
Kimmel and Jarrett side by side for second. Belmont brushes the wall. That gives Jarrett an opportunity on the inside. Jason Jarrett down low will take the lead. Kimmel right behind him. So Belmont, maybe not pitting, was a bad decision by Andy and his crew. Gets sideways off of 2 there. I think he's used up his tires.
Yeah, and brushing the wall sure didn't help. That even if he didn't do any damage to the car mentally, he's got to wait 1 or 2 laps to feel the car out. So at that given point, Schrader and Kimmel are taking advantage of it.
Schrader trying to get around Belmont and move back to 3rd. Finley is next in line, then Hendrickson. And Schrader will sweep around the 1 car.
It looked to me like Schrader almost brushed the wall there.
He definitely had to thread the needle to get inside, or get outside Belmont and inside the wall. Jarrett, meantime, out in front. Kimmel, who has led today, pressuring him in second. Uncharacteristic for the Larry Clement team to send Kimmel out not in the lead off that pit stop.
Yeah, like you said, not characteristic, because usually those guys have excellent pit stops. But, I noticed the last time Frank got into the corner, you saw some sparks fly from under the car. What that means, usually what happens is when right there, you see little sparks?
Yeah.
When his tire pressures, I don't think have totally built up yet. When you put on a fresh set of tires when you do a pit stop, you usually drop the air pressure probably anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds. So it takes about 5 or 6 laps for the air pressure to build up. What happens is, with the low air pressure, the car actually bottoms out a little. Probably in about 1 or 2 more laps, the air pressure will build up. You won't see that. Raising
the car, giving it a little more ride height. Now, the Hoosier tires in use here, since this is a half-mile racetrack, are bias ply, so they'll grow a lot more than a radial tire.
Okay, you're impressing me again here, Rick. Again, some technical stuff that, most play-by-play guys aren't supposed to know.
See, I've been listening to you all these years.
Yeah, well,
listening to you, I have to decide what to remember and what to forget. That's the thing.
Yeah, and you got to remember, I'm really telling you the truth and just trying to pulling your leg here.
Leaders lapping by Donnie Morlock in the 48 car. Down into 3. And the clouds certainly getting a lot darker here at Salem Speedway. Off the wall. Jason Jarrett caroms off the concrete out of turn 4. And that costs him the lead.
I got to say something. I've never seen so many guys hit the wall like they have today. It's like every time somebody's running up front, I don't know if they're getting too anxious or what, but I also think what's happening is this racetrack is getting, rougher and rougher every time we come here, and as you get closer and closer to the wall, because that's the fast way around, this racetrack starts to move your car so much that you just can't control it and you bounce off the wall.
Well, the winters here in Salem are certainly harsh, and if you've lived in the north at all, you know that wintertime, freezing and thawing and that sort of thing really plays havoc with pavement. It does it on streets, and it certainly does it on racetracks.
Yeah, they've done look at the stands here. Full crowd. They've done an excellent job, refurbishing this racetrack. Yeah. They've done excellent work on pit road, the walls. Their next project, and they've talked to us about this in the past, is repaving the racetrack. But that's not a small undertaking. That's a big financial commitment and project, and we got a yellow right now.
Sure do. Looks like there may be some rain falling on the racetrack. We're hearing on the radio several of the drivers saying, hey, it's getting wet out here. Let's get the caution out. Make sure we don't have any further damage to these race cars. You can see the water that's collected down at the bottom of the racetrack and on pit road as well, which has certainly made it dicey for these teams today.
Yeah, I was just looking at, you can see it's starting to rain right now. I was looking when A.J. Henderson went by the Fastenal Chevrolet. The right rear quarter, his quarter panel was flat-sided, so he hit the wall too. We didn't even see that one.
Good day to have the Bondo concession here at Salem Speedway, no doubt about it. So the field under caution yet again as the rain starts to pick up. You can see it there in the puddle down going into turn one. The fan's not scattering, though, so evidently the feeling is that this will just be a quick shower that'll blow through. So the field behind the safety car, Kimmel is the leader, hoping for a restart. We'll be back here at Salem. Alongside Bill Venturini, I'm Rick Benjamin, looking for a restart here at Salem Speedway. Brief rain shower, just a minute or two, and the track dried out very quickly, and we'll try to get the rest of this one in.
It stopped as fast as it started.
Fans didn't even have a chance to head for shelter here at Salem. Green is out. Kimmel down into turn one. Ken Schrader to the outside of Jason Jarrett. He'll make a run on him for second spot.
Yeah, you can see Schrader. It looked like when they came down to take the green, Jason Jarrett wasn't up against the wall, and Schrader saw that. Decided to put a move on the outside, and it's working right now.
Schrader moves by. Jarrett will try to battle him, but he cannot hold back the charge of the Federated Chevrolet.
I don't know.
Jarrett's starting to warm the tires back up. Now remember that he's bounced off the wall a hard shot in that 67 car. The dark clouds continue to gather here at Salem.
We weren't sure if Schrader bounced off the wall, but I think the only guy in the top 6 or 7 that I know hasn't hit the wall yet is Frank Kimmel.
At least we haven't seen it happen.
Okay, now, all right, Schrader. Now that's twice, and if I'm a betting man, now I'd say there's a stripe, but I don't see it.
Jarrett dives low, trying to get second spot back in that 67 car.
And Jason's only going to be able to do this probably 1 or 2 more laps, and he's going to put too much heat in that right front tire, and then the car's going to start to push. And I was just going to say, he's not going to be able to stay there much longer, because once you get the right front tire heated up like he was doing, and then you try it again, you get into the corner, and the car's going to push, then he's going to drive into the side of Kenny Schrader.
And, of course, you scrub off a lot of speed when you do that, too. And the lower you run on a track like this, the more heat you will put in that right front tire. So Schrader reestablishes himself in second. Those 2 cars lapping by Todd Anderkin's 4 car, that black Taurus you saw a moment ago. Look at this. Here's Jarrett again to the inside.
Yeah, I think the lap cars right now are going to play a big key. Yeah, I was going to say play a big key in. He's going to be able to make the move because you got to move back up out of the lower lane to get into the corner.
Carlo Lampe there in the red 74 blocking Jason Jarrett's path down low. Schrader able to run in the middle of the racetrack at this end and way up high in 3 and 4. Andy Belmont back there.
Good battle going on behind these 2 guys between Belmont and Finley and Hendrickson right now.
Schrader, meantime, trying to hang on to second. Left by Norm Benning's machine here. No one able to get up and run with Frank Kimmel. Boy, that's a song we've sung many times this season. Kimmel looking for his 9th victory of the year in ARCA REMAX Series competition today.
I think they need to restructure the purse system here for the ARCA Series. Say, okay, you get half the money for winning because Frank's going to get that. So let's put the money for second. Let everyone race for second.
Spoken like a car owner who hasn't won a race yet this year. A.J. Hendrickson running 6th. Yeah, the other philosophy, and it's not followed in stock car racing, but I do a lot of road racing with the SCCA and other series, and if you win a couple of races, they'll slap a weight penalty on you.
Oh, man, I'm going to be lobbying this week.
An extra 50 pounds sometimes can really slow down a car that dominates.
I think what we need to do is, like, if we're allowed 2 sets of tires, which in the short track races, you're only allowed so many sets of tires.
Right.
I think we need to limit Kimmel. I think he should only get 1 set of tires, and that's it. No pit stops. He's got to go out there and run the whole race and not pit. He'd probably still beat us.
Schrader hanging on to second spot. Yeah, the amazing thing now, Schrader's team is only part-time in ARCA and in Winston West. But still, he's a Winston Cup veteran. He's won races. He's won championships coast to coast. He can't run with Frank Kimmel.
No, I can't talk enough about Kenny Schrader. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be running the short track program that we ran earlier this year because we got our short track car from Schrader, and he's been really graceful with us about the program. He's just helped us out tremendously. And oh, look at this! Andy Belmont slips getting into the corner, and A.J. Hendrickson gets underneath him.
As does Shelby Howard there in the white Lucas Oil car, the 64. So Hendrickson in the Fastenal Chevrolet. Belmont really with a problem there. He backpedals quickly and loses a couple of spots.
Good run by A.J. Hendrickson right now in the Fastenal Chevrolet.
And the guy you've got to be impressed with is young Shelby Howard. His first career ARCA start, just 16 years old. Now, he does know the racetrack because he is a Kendall Late Model Series regular. And trouble. Andy Belmont evidently got into the wall coming out of turn 4. He spins down the front straightaway, jumps on the brakes, no contact, but he has shredded a left rear tire.
And, we saw him getting a little loose a couple laps ago, and I think what was happening, the left rear tire was going, but look at the right side. The right side is totally flat-sided.
So the rain has started as well, and look at that. The umbrellas pop up here at Salem, so caution for the Belmont wreck. Don't know if the rain might have played a part in that or not, but the yellow flag is waving. The pace car is out. Now, they haven't put the convertible top up yet on the Mustang there.
Yeah, I don't know. That's Jack Wallace. I'd be putting the top up.
And the crews start to scramble, everyone thinking, hey, maybe we better cover up here a little bit. Umbrellas up on pit road, and you can see how wet pit road and the racetrack have gotten here in just the last couple of moments.
Well, we're really close to the end of this race here. I'm not sure what's going to happen right now.
Less than 10 laps to go, and the word is that the checkered flag will be out this time by. On lap 191 of 200, Frank Kimmel will take a rain-shortened victory here at Salem Speedway. Jason Jarrett finishes in second spot. We'll talk to the winner when we come back. Our coverage of the ARCA REMAX Series is being brought to you by REMAX. In the race to sell homes, our track record is second to none. REMAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results. And by Cornwell Quality Tools. Professional mechanics worldwide choose Cornwell, the official tools of ARCA. Back at Salem Speedway, the rain shortens the Eddie Gilstrap Motors 200 by 9 laps. Frank Kimmel, though, with a dominating last-to-first run in the 46 car, his 9th win of the season. Jason Jarrett runs second today. He's with Don Radebaugh downstairs.
You finished 4th here in the spring, 2nd here today. You got this place figured out?
I don't have it figured out by far, but I did learn something last time. I was probably a little too nice last time, so I tried to be up on the wheel a little bit more from the first lap to the last lap this time, instead of trying to conserve tires. I never try to do that all day. I just told them what the car was doing, and I had an awesome time. That was probably the most fun I've had all year. What more can you ask for?
Well, the car was doing, and so was Jason Jarrett. What a run here today.
As rough as it is, the most fun he's had all year.
I love that. He said he got up on the wheel and had fun. Good run for A.J. Hendrickson, finishing 4th.
And Andy Belmont, despite the blown tire and the spin, he finishes in 5th spot. Todd Boucher rounds out the first 10.
Shelby Howard, he ended up 6th. Good run for that rookie.
Donnie Morlock with a nice 12th today. Darrell Basham in 15th. And Carla Lampe with the top 20.
Good run for Carla Lampe.
Take a look at 21st through 30th. There's Tracy Leslie. Had a tough finish to his day. He was very quick, comes home 22nd after hitting the wall. And the final 4 cars, Todd Antrican finishes 31st. Let's meet the winner.
Well, Frank Kimmel takes a knee here in victory lane. You pretty tired?
Yeah, pretty tired. And going up stands and yelling with all the people up there, it was they deserve it. They called for rain when we needed it. Jason was coming hard there at the end. He had a great car today, ran a great race, and what fun it is to race with him. He does such a good job, and I'm really tickled for him to have a good finish. Win green all the way. I don't know who it ended up. Probably Schrader would have won because Jason and I probably hit each other, but no, he ran a great race. I got to thank Advanced Auto Parts and Pork. This car was really good today, and not quite as good as we've had in the past, but I think the track had a lot to do with it. It's pretty slick out there today.
Well, the car was pretty good, and the driver was even better. That's win number 32 for King Kimmel.
9 wins on the season. He adds to his point lead. Look at that, 1,100 points almost in front of Jason Jarrett.
You know what? Next time, I think when Kimmel runs into the stands, these ARCA guys should have him kidnapped.
Well, a strong day for you, Ken Schrader. Not quite strong enough for that 46 car again. He's pretty tough here.
No, you can't. Frank's always good here. You can't give up days practice, you know. I knew starting in the back wasn't going to be no handicap for Frank. And I tell you what, Jason Jarrett did a fantastic job.
He really did. Tell us about your day out there. Any close calls at all?
I just run in the wall once, just trying to stay ahead of Jason, but just a little bit there.
Hey, I guess I was right. He did hit the wall once.
He sure did. If you'd like information on the ARCA REMAX Series, our website is arcaracing.com. Our at-track communications are provided by Racing Electronics. Call them at 1-800-272-7111. They'll be glad to send you a catalog. All the racing news and information you need on a daily basis is available at our website, www.speedvision.com. Check us out. For Don Radebaugh and Bill Venturini, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating Frank Kimmel, his 9th win of the season, adding to his point lead. We'll see you next time here on Speed Vision.